Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a story time video. This is how I got married and moved and pretty much started a whole new life. So if you want to see that, keep watching. Okay, so me and my wife have known each other since high school. My freshman year, her sophomore year. And we talked or dated or whatever the heck you call that way back then. Things didn't work out and I ended up with somebody else at that time. We ended up blocking each other. We weren't talking, like we had no sort of communication whatsoever. Well, come my junior year, going into senior year, that summer, she graduated with my cousin. Her and my cousin were best friends. And at the time, me and my cousin were not that close. Like, we were close before that, and then we kind of like, were not close. And then we got close again later. But that's coming. And I went to my cousin's graduation party, and she was there. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell did I do? I can't believe I messed this up.
Technically, I didn't mess that up, but we're not going to get into that. That's a later story time video for, like, next time. Whatever.
We were kind of, like, looking at each other the whole night, like, I know who you are, you know who I am. Like, it was just, you could feel the tension, but you can also feel the chemistry. Super weird. I don't know how to explain it to you. After that, I unblocked her from all of social media. So we didn't talk, like, I didn't message her or anything. And we started following each other, like, right after that. That was a while back. After that, like, the situation kind of just, like, went away. Okay, come November of last year, my uncle dies, and I start getting closer with my cousins. She FaceTimes my cousin and is like, hey, I'm coming home, like, I want to hang out. And I so happen to be with my cousin. Well,
at this time, I was talking to somebody else.
My cousin and my wife are FaceTiming. And she hears me in the background and she's like, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Well, my wife was drunk. So, you know, she kind of was like, what the heck? Like, blah, blah, blah. We kind of started getting into it. I wouldn't say really getting into it, but like talking about what happened. And so when I finally explained to her what had happened back then in high school, we add each other on Snapchat and we're Snapchatting back and forth, whatever. And
at this time, she also had a girlfriend. So I was talking to somebody else and she had a girlfriend.
Finally, things don't work out with me and the girl I'm talking to and her girlfriend. Come New Year's, we're all at this party. I was with my cousin, she was with her friends, like, and they all went to high school together, so they all still hang out. So we're hanging out at this party or whatever, and my cousin decides she wants to play beer pong with me. Like, not with me, but like against me. So I'm like, I don't really know anybody. Like, who am I going to play beer pong with? And my wife was like, I'll play with you. She wasn't my wife at the time, she is now. She's like, I'll play with you. So whenever we're like, yeah, we're gonna play beer pong, whatever. So we won, and yeah, we pretty much like we're hanging out, whatever. So anyways, after this party, like, we are like, okay, we'll hang out soon, whatever. Well, we started talking on the 31st of December, and we started dating on the 6th of January. So there was another night where she went over to my cousin's house. We were DMing and like we were sending each other gifts. So we were flirting like that all night. The people that were there fell asleep, and then it was me and my wife. And we hadn't fallen asleep yet, but I was kind of like cuddled up like on top of her, and I was like singing to her and like whispering like the songs into her ear. And if you ask her, that she'll tell you this is her favorite memory. Laying in bed and Pandora was playing on the TV. And there was 2, 3, 4, there was 5 of us in a little queen bed. So queen bed is the size of my bed right now. Me and my wife and our 3 dogs barely fit in the bed. So imagine 5 people in a queen bed. Yeah, it's not gonna work. The only reason only reason we're cuddling is because I don't want her to fall off the bed, so I have to lay on top of her. See what I did there? I have to lay on top of her. Yeah, and she'll tell you constantly that I had a plan, when really she's the one with the plan. But anyway, we were cuddling and I woke up and she was gone and I was so sad. She's like, I was falling off the bed. We were talking. It's time for her to come back home to Jacksonville. And she's like, you know, I don't want to go. I don't want to leave. We didn't even get to hang out the day that she was leaving. It was so sad. And I was so sad. I kind of just, you know, was like, okay, that's fine. So she came back and we did long distance for what felt like a fucking eternity. Like, long distance is so hard.
But let me tell you, if you are in a long distance relationship right now and you are just feeling like, fuck, I can't do this anymore, the distance is so hard, I want you to hold me, I'm telling you, once you get together and you stay with that person, like whatever, you know, they come to you, you go to them, you meet in the movies, live there, whatever the case may be, it is so worth it at the end of the day. Because, you know, you love them for their personality, you love them for the things that they do for you, even though they're so far away, they still, if that person loves you, they will stay with you through the distance.
So we did long distance and her birthday was coming up. So I was like, you know what? So her birthday's in June and I had already, so me and my friends and, you know, my cousin, my 2 cousins and my best friend had planned to come out to Jacksonville in July. So we'd already booked that in January, like a week before her birthday. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go. Like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna spend the weekend out there. Yes, I'm gonna fly a full day just to see her for a few days and then come back, like whatever. Well, and you know, we're talking and she's like, let's get married. And at first I was like, what? Like, okay, like, yeah, I'm down to get married. Like, I thought she meant like later on, like way later on, because we're both young, like, you know. And so we're like, yeah, I was like, yeah, let's get married, like, let's do it. And she's like, okay, when? And I was like, well, I don't know, when do you think? And she's like, well, I get to go home in July. And so this is June, like, we were in June. And I was like, you get to come home in July? We're planning a wedding in a month? And she's like, yeah, why not? And I'm like, okay, we're gonna make it happen, we're gonna make it work. So I went out there in June, came home, planned a wedding, went out there at the end of July, the middle of July to kind of the end of July. It was like 2 weeks almost. And then she went back home for 2 weeks. So I had less than a month to plan this wedding. Okay, now, I told my mom, I said, Mom, I have to tell you something. And my mom knew how serious we were, you know, we had talked about marriage for a long time. So it kind of didn't come as a surprise to her, but at the same time, I don't think she thought we were gonna go through with it. So I said, Mom, I have to talk to you. And she goes, what's wrong? Like, what happened, blah, blah, blah. And I said, we wanna get married. And my mom was like, you what? Like, she didn't know really what to say, but at the same time, I think she knew it was coming. So she's like, yeah, I want to get married, blah, blah. I was like, I want to get married, blah, blah, blah. And so she's like, did you think about this? Like, you thought about the long-term effects, your long-term goals you would have together, like all of that stuff. Because I feel like we're very long-term. We don't think of what's going to happen, you know, right now or tomorrow. We think about what's going to happen 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. So she was like, you thought about it, you really want to do this, you really want to devote your life to this girl. And I said, yes, I do.
I love my wife more than I have ever loved a single soul, you know. I love my wife more than I can ever explain to you. She is my best friend, she is my soulmate, and somehow I've known that since way back when we first started talking, when my freshman year. So I was like 15, I knew this girl, like, was my heart. I knew it, I felt it, I can't even explain it to you, but when you know, you know.
So, told my mom was like, okay, well, let's get planning. We were first gonna do a courthouse wedding. And my family is very, not traditional, because 2 girls getting married is not very traditional. But yeah, so they wouldn't have wanted a courthouse wedding, you know. They want me to have my big wedding and do those, you know, all that stuff. So we did put together a big wedding in less than a month. It was beautiful. My wedding was everything I could have ever dreamed of. Keep in mind, I have been planning my wedding since I was like 6 years old, and just, you know, putting it on paper and then seeing it come to life was the most amazing, beautiful experience. My grandparents were such a big help. Such a big help. They did everything they could for this wedding. You know, they got my dress, they got my, you know, everything. They did everything for this wedding. As well as my mom. Them and my mom really put together a whole wedding, and it was amazing. It was beautiful. I can't even put into words how much like my wedding meant to me, how much they did for it. Like, I can't tell you how much I appreciate them and I love them, and I know they're gonna watch this, so I love you guys and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys really did make my dreams come true. So I told my grandparents over breakfast that I had to talk to them, if I could talk to them in their room, because we were at their house. They were like, yeah, of course, like, what's going on? Like, they were kind of like, what is happening? And my mom had already told them previously that I had to talk to them, but she didn't tell them about what. So I was like, yeah, I have to talk to you, whatever. And my Bobo, so funny, like, just jokingly says, what, are you getting married? And I just, like, turned so red. And I think they knew for a long time too that it was coming. So when he said it as a joke, I think he was like, no, she wouldn't. Like, she's not going to. She's 19. We go to the room and they're like, what's up? And I'm like, you guessed it, haha. And they're like, you're joking. Like, they thought I was joking. And I was like, no, seriously, I'm getting married. And they were like, when? And I told them July 26th. And they were like, Ari, it's June 24th. Like, I kid you not, I told them a month before. And so we had a month to plan this wedding. We did invitations, we did cake, we did dress, we did cookies, we did reception, we did ceremony, we did everything. We did, like, I can't even explain to you enough how much we did for this wedding, like, in a month. We found the food, we found the venue, we found, like, it was just this big to do in a month. And it didn't help that I was leaving in the middle of July for almost 2 weeks. That did not help at all. So we had about 3 weeks to plan because I was leaving on vacation. Like, and I would have canceled vacation, but I had already booked the tickets and it was over $400. Like, so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just gonna make it work. I'm gonna make it work. We did centerpieces, we did bouquets, we did hair pieces. I made the hair pieces, we all made the centerpieces, we all made the bouquets, we made the little thank yous, we made, you know, everything. We got everything done in 3 weeks. It was really hard. I don't recommend it, but if you're gonna do it, just know how much work you have to put into this. So this is gonna sound crazy, but I quit my job to be a full-time bride because I had 3 weeks. That was what I did. I woke up in the morning, I took JJ to school, went home, did whatever I had to do for the wedding until I had to pick up JJ at about 5 from school, go home, you know, feed him dinner, get him in the bath, and then put him to bed. When he would go to bed, I would kind of, you know, take that me time, do that little, you know, because you still need to, yeah. So I would, you know, do my 15 minutes on my puzzle, 15 minutes face mask, 15 minutes whatever, and I'd go to bed and I'd wake up and I'd do it all again. So I quit my job to be a full-time bride. I worked my ass off to get this wedding situated, planned, everything had to be done before I had to go on vacation. We got married. I stayed in New Mexico for 3 weeks, and before I could move down to Florida, because I had to get a job down here. I had to, when I came out here in July, we had, found a place, we had set a date, we were ready to move in. Okay, so then when I waited 3 weeks, I came out here. My grandparents drove me and the dogs. And here I am, a married wife. So, advice I would give to you if you are young, I'm 20 years old and I just turned 20. Like, I was 19 years old when I got married. People are gonna judge you. They're gonna look at you, they're gonna think you're throwing your life away, just as they look at teen moms. They think you're throwing your life away, they think you're not ready, they think you're whatever. You do, once you turn 18, regardless if your parents like it or not, and I know it's different because, I'm Hispanic, so I'll be 30 years old still doing what my mom says. But when it comes to life choices such as having kids or getting married or moving out or, big things like that, I want you to remember that this is your life. You are ready for what you put yourself into. You are ready. If you are getting married at 18 years old, you are ready for that. You decide when you're ready for that. You decide when you're ready. You decide when you want to do it. You decide everything that goes with it. This is your life. You don't have to make a single person happy. And I cannot stress that enough, because I know that I have family who is so not happy that I got married and moved. But at the same time, I did what was best for me. I'm living my life. I'm doing what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it, how I want to do it. It is your life. You can do as you please. You can move out when you want. You can get married when you want. You can have kids when you want. You can buy a car or a house or whatever you want to do when you want to do it. Do it. But if you're also going to do it, know that it's going to take hard work. It's not going to be easy. And you have to work for and through it. Being married so young, also, I do want to say, no relationship is perfect. No, there's going to be fights, there's going to be arguments, there's going to be times where all you want to do is get in your car and drive away and hide, But at the end of the day, you have your person. I have my wife. I have my best friend for the rest of my life. I have a forever travel buddy. I have, the person that I want to have children with and make memories with for a lifetime. And truthfully, it's the best thing that I've ever done for myself, for, my wife. We live a very, very happy life. We are super happy together. We love each other unconditionally, and that is what matters at the end of the day. I always, my wife always says, where do you want to go? Do you want to stay in Florida? Do you want to move somewhere else? What do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? And I tell her, I don't care where we go. I don't care where we end up, as long as I have you when we get there. That is what matters the most. That is what's going to mean the most. We can be homeless. We can be living in a box. As long as I have my wife, I know I'm okay. I know I'm safe. I know I'm cared about. That's what matters. So please, please, please take my advice. You are ready for whatever you put yourself through. You are ready when you say you're ready. So yeah, that's the story of how I got married to my beautiful wife that I love with my whole heart, and I moved across the country. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you're not already. And I'm gonna post more. I swear I'm gonna post more. I am. So yeah, thanks for watching.